Hello everyone and welcome to Global Outlook. I'm Mary Sitt. How do you connect people across language and culture? Our first guest started the business back in 1993 to do exactly that. Mila Golovine has grown MasterWord into a top 50 multi-million-dollar company and has been recognized with numerous awards, including the HBJ Outstanding CEO of a medium-sized company in 2017 and top 100 women-owned businesses in Texas. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
And congratulations on your award-winning company.
Thank you.
Okay, so you had this idea way back when you were a student. You were one of the first graduating class. You were the first graduating class.
The very first class.
It's called the Wolf Entrepreneur Center.
Today it is called the Wolf Center for Entrepreneurship. Yes.
As part of the Bauer College of Business at UH. What gave you that idea? What triggered the idea of, aha, I'm going to start my own company for translation and interpreting?
Well, I actually always loved languages, and I always loved learning about other cultures. But I had the opportunity to come study in the United States, and from Russia.
Okay.
From Russia, and I was majoring in finance.
Okay.
And then signed up for this program with a name I didn't quite understand what it meant, entrepreneurship. It was just a great elective. And this was a life-changing experience, probably the most amazing thing that happened to me. I'm very grateful to the University of Houston for that.
So you wrote a business plan.
We had a homework that was due the next day. And or not the next day, but
you waited
as a
till
student,
the day before.
I waited till the day before. And it was before internet, and you had to go to libraries. So the idea was kind of like the quickest way of meeting the requirements of my homework assignment. But as I worked with it for the rest of the semester, I realized it was an amazing industry. And what really fascinated me with that was the ability to help people communicate, building bridges, helping people understand cultures, and helping people do commerce and interact with each other.
So this is a way to combine your passion for languages and culture and make it into a business and also help people, right?
Yes.
Now, how many languages do you speak? I know you speak a lot.
I personally speak 2 languages well, Russian and English. I have an almost forgotten French. I used to speak French fluently, but as a company, we work in 400 languages.
So you hire a lot of subcontractors,
Correct.
Then, right? How do you vet them? How do you make sure they're really, truly quality translators?
That is a very, very challenging question, and that's where the importance of certifications come in place. So first of all, the difference between being able to be just bilingual and being able to interpret and translate is about the same as between able to drive a car and repair a car.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah,
That's
so
huge.
it's not just that. You have to be able to take a concept from one language to another and accurately convey it.
Okay.
And actually convey the meaning. And sometimes
it's not necessarily word
it's
for
not
word,
the same.
right?
It's not the same. So interpreters serve as bridges between cultures, between concepts.
How do you hire an interpreter to translate let's say it's something that's sort of a sensitive topic, could be a little political maybe, or, you could say, he refused to answer it, or you could say he declined to answer it. One word can make a big difference, and it has all this insinuation, and you know what I'm saying?
That's where training is incredibly important, and that's
Okay.
where programs like the one with the Houston Community College, where interpreter is actually getting a certification and training to how to do that, becomes very important. Part of our job is to convey the meaning exactly with the same intent as it was said by the original speaker. So we're not to change the meaning.
Okay, so you only hire people to work for you who are certified?
For core languages and for main languages, we service a variety of different industries.
Okay.
We work with healthcare, we work with oil and gas, engineering companies, we work with banks. So different industries have different requirements. Okay. We also work with community interpreters. We provide interpreters for schools. So for some languages, certifications exist, but there are many languages of lesser diffusions where certifications don't exist.
Okay.
And we help meet that gap with providing training for the interpreters on how do you accurately convey the message, what is the requirements for our profession.
Do you get someone who already knows that language, let's say it's sort of an obscure or not very frequently widely used language, to sort of test the new translator person, to sort of like get them in a conversation?
We have a testing and assessments part of our company, and it's a pretty complicated process where you have to make sure the person is fully bilingual. They understand the terminology. We also test for terminology because medical terminology is different than oil and gas terminology, than legal terminology. So interpreters actually specialize.
Oh, they specialize in a particular industry. And, that's
And
their
translators too. Interpreters are people who work with the spoken language, and translators are people who work with the written language.
And can one person do both, or do you find that one specializes more in spoken versus written?
People specialize more because translation has very different requirements, and today there is a lot of different tools and technology that also exist in the industry. So people normally specialize, but of course some people do both.
Okay, Mila, I have got to ask you about Google Translate, because there are companies that use Google Translate to translate their entire website, and then people who travel will go, oh, how do I say that? And they go Google Translate. When is it suitable to use, in your opinion, and when should a company not be using that?
Well, Google Translate is a fantastic tool if you want to get a general idea about what is it that you're trying to do. And if you really want to test it, try taking a recipe from any other country, translating it via Google Translate, and then cooking it exactly to the specifications.
That's a great idea.
And then seeing what happens. So as a general idea, Google Translate helps. For some languages, it can render 60% accuracy, 70%. For some languages, it's really not even usable.
It really doesn't meet up to the standards of the human brain, right? I mean,
I'll give you an example. Fall prevention, which is a part of a safety document. Google Translate may translate it as fall, as in spring, as in summer, as in autumn prevention, instead of falling down. So that is completely not acceptable if you are using Google Translate to translate safety documents.
Mila, you have a great partnership with HCC. Tell me about that partnership.
I believe the program at HCC is incredibly important. We partnered with the program when we first found out about its creation. We collaborate with Natalia Noland and with the program. We have students, we work with students we offer them internships, and recently we now offer scholarships.
That's great. And our next guest is your very first scholarship recipient, right?
Yes.
At HCC. And HCC's program is important in order to have the qualifications they need to work with a company like yours, is that right?
Correct. And the scholarship that we offer is right now for certification with CCHI, which is a commission for healthcare interpreter, certification commission for healthcare interpreters. So that is a very rigorous test that requires understanding of terminology, understanding of ethics, understanding of what is required when you work in a healthcare setting. So, and then the interpreter can become certified and then be able to work in healthcare settings.
Mila, we can find out more on your website, MasterWord.
Yes, MasterWord.com.
Thank you so much. Coming up next, we'll meet a woman who reinvented herself to become a certified translator. Details when we return.
HCC. So many reasons, so little tuition. Register today at hccs.edu/now.
Hello, my name is James Mable and I serve as Director of Career and Job Placement Services at Houston Community College. Career and Job Placement Services consist of 6 career centers located throughout the HCC system. We have a career center near you, and we provide services and resources that are geared to ensure students are successful pursuing their calling. We provide career development, meaning we assist students with resumes, provide mock interview assistance, and even career exploration, such as career assessments. We provide job placement services such as campus interviews, where companies come on campus and literally conduct real interviews where students could get hired. We also provide career fairs and co-op and internship assistance. To learn more about career and job placement services, please visit us online at hccs.edu/career planning.
HCC's online college is officially open. This not only means online classes, but also online degrees and certificates. You can now credential up anytime, anywhere. Join the fast-growing number of students getting their full college education from anywhere they use a laptop. HCC currently offers 32 fully online degrees and will offer 71 next year. You no longer have to find a way or time to get to college. HCC brings college to you.
HCC. So many classes, so little tuition. Register today at hccs.edu/now.
Our next guest earned her undergraduate degree in engineering in her native Columbia and her MBA from the University of Houston. Then she decided to make a career switch, and she came here to HCC to help her do that. Amelia Howe is the top-rated student completing HCC's Level 2 Certificate in Translation and Interpretation program, and the first recipient of a scholarship from MasterWord. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me, what made you just reinvent yourself and start a whole new career after being an engineer for so long?
Well, when we came back to Houston after traveling because of my husband's work, I decided that I wanted to keep working and do something that I enjoyed and something that I could use my skills and education and my language. So I decided to get into interpretation and translation.
And how did you find out about HCC's certification program?
A friend did it, and she suggested that I looked into it, and so I went to talk to Dr. Nolan, who is the person in charge of the program, and she explained to me what it was, how it worked, and I thought it was something that I liked to do, so I did it.
So tell me about the program itself. Is it like a 6-week program, a semester program, or year-long, or how does it work?
No, it's a year and a half.
Wow, it's long.
Yes, and it's basic professional interpretation and translation in legal, medical, and technical, among other things. We also learn to use CAT tools, and we touch on simultaneous interpretation too.
Wow. So you're able to do all those fields, the legal field, the healthcare field, everything. Right?
Correct. Yes.
And then through HCC, you had an internship or volunteer work through to the clinic, a clinic somewhere?
Yes,
Tell me about
Christ
that.
Clinic in Katy. Yes, and that was very interesting too. I had the opportunity to translate for Hispanic patients there, and so it was very good, very nice. Also use what we have learned and help the community.
And how did the scholarship help you with your studies? Did you find out about it by accident, or did someone come up to you and say, hey, we're doing scholarships, apply for it? Or?
I think it's Dr. Nolan is the person who had the connection with MasterWord, and they offered to give a scholarship to the top student in the year. And I was fortunate enough to get it.
You did your homework.
Yes, exactly.
What do you like about translating for people? What is it about it that appeals to you?
Interpreting.
I'm sorry, yeah, interpreting. Translation is the written word.
Written,
right?
yes. Well, I think I like the connection with people. I like interacting with people. And in some way, I think that's also, I don't know, helping the community. So people who are limited in their English proficiency need help, and so we're there to help.
Have you ever faced any challenges interpreting something for someone and maybe, finding just the right nuance or just the right meaning of what they're trying to convey? You know what they're saying in Spanish, you get it, but trying to say that same thing in English is a little difficult?
Yes, this is one of the challenges, because the languages are different, and so what sounds natural in Spanish, when you translate it into English, it might not sound the same. So the idea here is to translate ideas, meaning.
Okay.
So you cannot really translate literally. You have to understand what is that they're saying, so you can translator in the same way, interpreter in the same way as it sounds natural in English too.
I know I studied Spanish, and it takes like this long in Spanish to say
Yeah.
what we say in English like this, right?
That's correct, yes.
A lot more words.
Yeah.
I'm sure the patients you work with are extremely grateful for your help. I mean, what kind of reaction do you get from them when you're there? You're just almost simultaneously translating for them when you're talking to the doctor or to a nurse.
Yes, they're very relieved that there is someone there to help, because sometimes it's stressful enough to go
Right.
and see the doctor, never mind not being able to communicate clearly. So I think that we put them at ease just because we can help, and also I think it's something to do with the culture. So we understand the culture
Right.
too, and so they feel more relaxed about the whole encounter.
Because they have someone who gets them and understands them.
Exactly.
What kind of advice would you give to students who are starting HCC's program, the certification program? Since you were the top-ranked student, what advice and tips would you give others?
Well, I think there's a great program for someone like me, for example, who wanted to do a career switch, or someone who is going to start in the field. I would say they should try to do all those volunteer things, activities, because
So don't just stay in the
help.
classroom.
Not just the classroom. You try to apply what you learn.
Okay.
And if you really enjoy it, keep doing it and keep expanding, because this is a profession where you never stop learning, never stop getting to do new things, and so you need to stay always improving and learning.
Is there one incident where it's been like your highlight of your career so far? Maybe you're doing a translation of interpreting a very big event for somebody, or has there been anything like that in your career so far?
Well, not really, because I just finishing my degree, and I'm just starting in my professional life.
What are your career goals in this field? What would you like to do?
Well, first of all, to get certified, nationally certified, so I'm going to take the CCHI certification exam.
Okay.
I'd like to, of course, work as soon as possible. I would like to always, to keep learning, like I said, because this is a profession where you always have to improve and be on top of your game.
Right.
So this is something, that you maybe learn another language, learn more techniques, things of that nature.
And you want to specialize in healthcare, or do you know?
Right.
No.
Yes.
You do want to do
so,
healthcare.
Yes, healthcare. But I'm open to other possibilities. But right now, my goal is to get into medical interpretation.
Very nice. Well, Amelia, congratulations on being the
thank you
first
so much.
scholarship recipient and being the top-ranked student. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Coming up next, a marketing expert tells how she convinces visitors that Houston should be on their go-to list when they plan their vacation. Stay with us.
HCC. So many locations. So little tuition. Register today at hccs.edu/now.
I've seen people's lives change just by attending a class at HCC.
Some of them might not have the financial means to go to a four-year university. That doesn't make them any less quote-unquote smart than the kids who go to a four-year school.
HCC is easy to get to. It's easy to apply and easy to become a part of.
It gave me so much confidence.
Once you finish your 2 years there, you can transition into a four-year university or go into the workforce.
It's affordable, it's accessible, it changes lives.
Why? Because it's affordable to me and it's flexible with my schedule.
Why? Because I have big dreams, and here is just one of the first steps in making those dreams a reality.
To be the first in my family to graduate.
To be able to explore the fashion industry while working a full-time job.
Because I have a small town budget with big time dreams.
Because the teachers are always available.
Because the abundance of job and volunteer opportunities are well grown to us.
It's more than a fashion program, it's a community.
It gives you hands-on training with a real-life experience.
HCC, fashion that fits you.
We have academic programs that help students get from high school into a university. And the data is very clear that students that take the path of a community college finish in far higher numbers than students that start straight into a university experience. Our students can achieve a baccalaureate degree in multiple fields from the universities in the area without ever leaving Houston Community College.
Our next guest is a marketing expert who knows how to showcase Houston as one of the great cities of the world. Sydney Dow is Director of Retail at HoustonFirst, a local government corporation that manages more than 11 city-owned buildings and properties, including the Hilton Americas Hotel. It operates the George R. Brown Convention Center, Jones Hall, the Wortham Theater Center, and Miller Outdoor Theater. Sydney, thank you so much for being with us.
Hi, how are you?
Now you do the retail side of it, right?
I do.
Tell me about
I
that.
do.
What do you do as retail director?
As a retail director, I oversee 3 shops in the convention area, now known as Avenida Houston District. There is one inside the Hilton Americas and one inside the George R. Brown, and Launch, which used to be in the Partnership Tower, has recently moved into the new Welcome Center, which is now located on the 1st floor.
And what do you
of the
sell in
gym.
these 3 shops?
We sell a little bit of everything, but what we proudly sell to people are local goods from designers here in Houston.
So one of your main functions is really to promote and find talented designers who are local and then promote their products and sell it, right?
Yes, absolutely. Over the course of the 2 years that I've been with HoustonFirst and through Launch, we've been able to feature over 100 designers. And people don't realize there's such a large pool of talent here in the city.
How do you recognize good talent? What do you do when you're looking at all the applicants and all the drawings and sketches and samples that says this is a winner?
You know, a lot of times I want to make sure that it's not crafty, that it's a well-made product. We carry everything from apparel to home goods to jewelry, artwork, and...
Now when you say not crafty, you mean that homemade?
We don't want it to look like it came out of a craft store.
Okay.
It looks, you know, all of our goods can go into any retail store that's been around. We want it to
have
be
a high design.
It has a high
element.
design. It doesn't always have to have a high price. People think because it's, you know, small batched and made locally that it's a higher price, and it's not necessarily true.
Okay.
But you know, we just want to showcase the best of Houston, and the looks are very refined, even if it's, you know, for a different demographic. Our goods can go into any store, and not just our own.
Now, Super Bowl is what inspired Launch, right? Can you tell me about that background?
Yes, absolutely. Launch, its original home was in the Partnership Tower, which is right next door to the George R. Brown. And because of all the activities around the Super Bowl, the mayor had a rule that no store should be left unattended. And so there was this wonderful space. HoustonFirst reached out to me and said, could you create a pop-up shop that featured only local designers? And I said, sure, I'll take that on.
And now you're doing that full time for them, right?
Yes, absolutely. Launch was so well received, and part of it, I think, was the store was running for 6 weeks. It wasn't just like a weekend, so I kind of went beyond the folding tables and just, you know, collapsible rolling racks.
Right.
It was a fully designed shop that was only meant to be there for 6 weeks, and it was so well received. And
did people like it because it was only there for 6 weeks, and if you didn't buy that product, that was it? Buy it now, or that's it? Or
no, I
the
think they were just
exclusivity?
so surprised with the products that were in there, the quality, the style, the price point.
Can people find those products now on the website somewhere?
Absolutely,
So it's still there
absolutely.
and available.
Some of them are, and that's the
Okay.
beauty of the shop. You have to kind of come every couple months to see what's new.
Now, Sydney, you are also an advisor on 3 fashion boards, fashion advisory boards here at HCC, University of Houston, and the Art Institute of Houston, right? Tell me what you do as an advisor and what kind of advice do you give?
The part that, because I've been in retail for so long, a lot of people on their advisory board are on the design end, or they're in different parts of the industry. I've been heavily in it, you know, just deep in the retail side of it. So I really help them with programming their classes, you know, in regards to what, as a manager, what I might need, a merchandiser might need, the kind of skills they'd need when they're finishing up school and having.
So you help create the content for the curriculum for schools.
We try to, and especially with HCC, the advisory board I think is one of the most active and involved advisory boards. They give us their curriculum and we review it, and if they make changes, we get to vote on it. And
that's great. So. Now, one person you helped launch is your sister.
Yes,
Chloe Dow. Tell me about that. She was.
So I was in New York. She was in New York, and then I moved up. And that's how I got my intro into PR. And then she moved back down. And
you have a big family too, right?
Family of 8. So Chloe's number 6, and I'm number 8.
Okay, you're the baby.
I am the baby.
And she had just won the fashion.
No, actually, it was because of me that I actually pushed her to be on Project Runway.
She didn't want to
get. I wanted her to try for season 1, but she was like, "No, I don't want to. I don't think I'll win." And there was another Houstonian, a local designer, that went on season 1, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're so much better than her. You should totally try out for season 2." And season 2 is the only season where they came to Houston for auditions, and they've never been back, surprisingly.
Wow.
And Chloe,
she won season 2.
She won season 2. She decided the morning of, she was like, "I'll let you know the morning of the audition if I'll try out or not." And so we scrambled and put together her press kit and her portfolio. We had all of that. Yes, we scrambled while she waited in line, you know. But yeah, it was crazy. I just wanted her to get on there with a PR background. I'm like, just get on TV.
You knew she would do well.
I knew she would do well. We didn't put that expectation for her to win. But
and how did you market her internationally and make her to an international brand?
Honestly, part of that was pushing her to be on Project Runway, and through Project Runway, you know, she had so many opportunities.
Right.
Being
that was
on
her ticket.
Absolutely,
right?
being on QVC, being featured in Elle magazine. She was spokesperson for Dove. We had products in Target. She had a partnership with a computer technology.
And you're okay with having a sister more famous than you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I always tell people.
You're the background.
And it's funny because that's why I'm like, oh, do I have to speak? You know, I like to be behind the scenes. I'm really not in front of the scene.
How would you describe Chloe Dow's fashions and her look, her line?
Timeless, sexy, but easy. You know, she always likes to be sexy, which is great, but in a very, modest way. But it really is for all ages. We still have, it's funny, her dresses that she's designed over, I think next year she'll be celebrating her 20th anniversary.
Oh my goodness.
And so all the dresses that she's designed and that we've owned throughout the years, if all the aunts have owned it, now they all belong to the nieces, and they all wear them. So they're absolutely timeless. There was at one time.
They're like heirloom. You can just keep passing them on to each generation,
I think at the Asia Society opening party, my mom, Chloe, and I all wore the same dress in different versions that she had made.
That's
so it's definitely
great.
for different cross-generational as well.
Sydney, when you're looking at design, how do you know when something's ready to go to launch? What makes it?
There's a lot. The production has to be on par. A lot. Again, it can't look like it was homemade. It has to be well made, well crafted. HCC design program does a wonderful job teaching their students how to do that, and really elevating their skills. And also, the style as well. A lot of times, students when they come out, you can tell. Editing is very important. Okay. So a lot of times they like to put a lot of tricks onto the garment, lots of ruffle. I mean, just a bunch of different things. So, learning that refined eye of editing and knowing, who your audience is. A lot of people don't know who their customer is.
So if you have a desire and a passion for fashion design, starting here at HCC is a great way to start,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sydney.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That's all for this edition of Global Outlook. I'll see you again every Friday and Sunday at 7:30 a.m. and 7:30 p.m., plus Saturday at 10 a.m. I'm Mary Sitt. Thanks for joining us.